This little bastard walks into the police office, the police department, and he hands the guy a box. And the guy opens the box up. It's the box is dripping blood. Hey guys, what is going on? This is your old pal CHH. Well, you know what they say, Blu-ray is a disease and 4K is the cure. Not really, okay, but listen, one of the reasons I rebranded this channel, for those that don't know, I used to be just Christian Hanna Horror. And I was scratching my neck. That's why it's red right there. Like, when I first got, like, bit by the movie bug in general, like, when I was getting into Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street, I became a massive Stallone fan. Now, I grew up watching, you know, Rocky and stuff when I was a kid, and Rambo, which, by the way, besides Return of the Living Dead, what's my favorite movie of all time? It's First Blood. I think First Blood is one of the greatest movies ever made. But, you know, I was, like, a closet, like, Chevy Chase fan and Stallone fan and Jean-Claude Van Damme fan, and I loved Ghostbusters, which is kind of horror, but it's not. I don't call Ghostbusters horror, but you get my point. I kept all that to myself, and now it's like, now that I'm out of the horror closet, so to speak, and I rebranded now, which was like 2021, which is crazy to think about. I can talk about all these films now, but the irony is, like, some people say that Cobra is almost like a slasher film. 1986... Stallone making his version of Beverly Hills Cop. Cobra is almost like a less intense but still very intense version of Death Wish 2. Now, the story's a little bit different. Like, obviously, Death Wish, you know, Charles Bronson's a vigilante just taking out criminals. In Cobra, Marion Cobretti, Stallone, is a part of the zombie squad. Now, what his job is to go in and basically clean up the mess when the cops can't stop the criminals in the cities. Now, what I love about Cobra is there are movies that feel 80s, and there's other 80s movies that feel timeless. Like, for me, like, and some people may disagree with this, but I think of a movie like The Breakfast Club as like a timeless movie. Cobra as a pure 80s piece of media. Like, everything about it feels vintage to a T. And like Cobra, and that's what I love about Cobra. I love those 80s movies. Like, I love timeless 80 films like Risky Business or like Breakfast Club and others, but like, I love those genuine 80s, just stuck in that time. Nothing about it could be like not relatable in a sense, but just like, it can't be mistaken for any other time than that time. Cobra is basically about a cop who has to go in and stop these people that want to create this new order in the world where they're just these heinous criminals that are just taking out victims left and right to just wipe out people that don't align with their beliefs, so to speak. It's very, very loose on plot. You almost have to kind of figure it out yourself. It's not that the movie doesn't make sense. It's as simple as these renegades, these underground renegade criminals are killing everybody, and Stallone has to stop them. But you're almost going to wonder, like, really, what are they about? Even the actors, the guy who plays the Night Stalker in this movie, he has, in the interview in here, he's figuring it out himself. Well, really, it's the interview in here, but we'll talk about that later. You know, Cobra is a movie that it's just pure entertainment. It is a machismo action film with kick-ass music, Brigitte Nielsen at her finest. Like, what else is there to say about it? I love it. It's not Stallone's best film by a stretch, but like, Cobra is like his answer to Beverly Hills Cop in a sense. Like I said, the story goes that he got offered Beverly Hills Cop, but he was like, yeah, we're not going to do a comedy. And they were like, well, no, we're doing a comedy. And so he went his own way and basically turned that into this. And then Eddie Murphy, of course, did Beverly Hills Cop. It all worked out. Everything worked out. But I love Cobra. I'm a big Robert Tepper fan. And the thing I like about Stallone is he's very loyal to bands that he uses in movies. When he uses you in a movie, he'll use you again. So with this movie, we're going to see a lot of usage of Robert Tepper again. Obviously, he did No Easy Way Out. We brought him back for Angel of the City, which is a great song. And then John Cafferty and the Beaver Brown Band. We saw them being used in Rocky 4. Rocky 4. He brings them back. They did Hearts on Fire, and in this movie, they come back with Voice of America's Son. The ending song is my favorite song of the movie. All right, so there's a lot of things to talk about. The Scream Factory release and the Arrow release. First of all, I got to give credit to Arrow for being like, yeah, we got some pretty cool artwork we got done for this movie. Yeah, we did some new artwork and all. But yeah, the slipcover is going to be the original highlighter red, bright red, original poster art. Thank God they did that. I'm just going to be honest. This is fine, but if this would have been the slipcover, it would have not looked an eighth as good as this. I don't know why they did this. They don't typically do this, but I'm glad that they did. Look how great this looked. And no, this sticker doesn't come on here. I put it on here. It's easy I can easily take it off and not damage it, just to show that they do come with the HDR stickers. Do you get this? Do you stick with this? What's the difference? I'll tell you my honest opinion. Let's get into it. So first off, the Blu-ray from Scream Factory looked good. It still looks good today. I think this is a 2K scan from original film elements, so that probably means it was an inner positive, if I had to guess. If they don't say the negative, that probably means it wasn't from the negative. Now, this is a 4K from the negative. This looked fantastic. But here's the thing about this. It does look a little bit different from this one. This one looks good. This one definitely looks a little bit sharper. But here's the thing about this. This 4K doesn't make the movie look brand new like some 4Ks do, especially for older movies. Like, you could take movies like Casino or that's a good example. There's others I can think of. Casino looked like a brand new movie. Now, that could be a good thing or a bad thing to some people. For me, it's always a good thing when a movie just looks like it looks like it was completely brought back to life on 4K. This one still looks vintage as hell. I like that about it, but I don't think this is going to be 4K of the year for anybody. But there's been some stiff competition as well. But my point is, I loved it. It looked great. It had a lot of great detail, looked sharp, but it completely kept its vintage 86, stuck in that time look. You know, it is what it is. But picture quality, yeah, it should be better than this, right? It should be. There should not be a thing like, I hope it looks better. It should be better, and it is. But yeah, keep that in mind. It just has that, it still looks so vintage. The stuff that they added in this, I'm going to be totally respectful. They do a good job. Arrow definitely goes out of their way to say, okay, let's try to add a little bit more meat to the bone of this. The reality is, the interviews on this, Scream Factory did all the heavy lifting for Cobra originally. The interviews on this were great. They actually had interviews with Brian Thompson, Marco Rodriguez, Andy Robinson, Lee Garlington, Art LaFleur, and then audio commentaries with the director. This one has all those. They did port over all the Scream Factory releases, and there's 2 video essays. They're fine, and I think there may be people that are into that, but they're people, it's the authors of these video essays basically just reading their review of the movie. It's cool, but I'm not really that interested in stuff like that. Like, I much prefer hearing the cast talk about the film. Those experiences are what I love the most. But they are there. There are 2 new video essays, but I'd be lying if I said they were just fascinating. I'm sorry, I didn't find them fascinating whatsoever. I didn't really learn anything. I just heard somebody talk about the movie and why it is a piece of 80s maximalist violence and gun stuff. Okay, cool. Guess what? Like, okay. I'm just being dead ass honest. But here's why I actually am going to say this is worth a pickup. Maybe not immediately if you want to try to wait till it gets cheaper, but honestly, this was cool. Okay, so we talked about the stuff having its new release with 30 minutes of extra footage, and I said, listen, it was cool, but I don't think it's going to come the way you want to watch this. I don't think this was on the Scream Factory Blu-ray release. I don't see it on the back of here. This release, guys, actually had the television broadcast version of Cobra. Now, here's the negative. It is 4:3, but it didn't look bad. Like, the movie actually looked pretty good. They had, obviously, those weird little funny edits where maybe there was like some strong violence, strong language where they cut it out, because as long as we got to play by these bullshit rules, they're going to win and we're not. In the movie TV version, it's because as long as we got to play by their rules, you know, those funny little edits, they're there, and I love stuff like that. It brings me back to my childhood. But there was stuff shot for the television version that's not in the theatrical version whatsoever. I honestly love the scenes that are in the television version. There's a scene, I won't spoil too much. I'll tell you 2 things. First of all, the Night Stalker had a job. He had a job. He was working. They cut all that out of the movie. But in the television version, the son of a bitch is working a job. He has a job. And then the other scene that just like, holy shit. There's a scene where this little boy goes into the police station with a Christmas present. Now, this movie did take place during Christmas. So, yeah, Cobra's technically a Christmas movie. This little bastard walks into the police office, the police department, and he hands the guy a box. And the guy opens the box up. The box is dripping blood. This kid gave it to him. And he goes, hey, mister, this guy outside told me to give this to you. It's a woman's hands. He gives him a hand. This stuff was in the TV cut. And I'm thinking to myself, wow, you would have think that would have been cut out of the film as opposed to some of the other stuff. The TV cut, I loved it. I mean, so that makes this cool and worth a pickup. So like I said, the 4K looks great. I would give it an 8.8 out of 10. It still looks totally vintage. Doesn't really make the film look any, different or just like shine anymore. And the special features, like they did port over all the good interviews from the cast that they did on the Scream Factory Blu-ray, but the TV cut on here is the real winner, so that's really cool. Now, as far as the release itself goes, they did a brilliant job keeping that as the artwork on the slipcover. Now, you can reverse it and have, obviously, the same thing, but I do want to show you guys the art that you get on here. Like I said, in terms of the features, I could read everything on the back for you, but like I said, all those cast interviews that are on here, they're here, as well as 2 new video essays, which, I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying they weren't that, yeah. Anyway, here is what you get on the inside. This is cool. You do get a booklet about Cobra. Smells great. Very, just God, this is so 80s. So there you go. You get your booklet, which is nice. I wish this would have got a chunky box. I really do. And then you get this. This is awesome because I'm going to swap out Conan the Destroyer. Yeah, I'm going to swap out Conan the Destroyer for this. They give us a poster, and I love that it's got the white border frame on here. So I'm going to hang up my Cobra poster in the one up there. RoboCop stand. No, that RoboCop ain't going nowhere. So you get your poster, and I love the fact that they put the pizza and the scissors right there. Oh, and here's another thing. You guys, some of you said that, the reason he cut the pizza is because there was mold on the top of the crust. Not in 4K, baby. That pizza was fresh as a daisy. It's just weird, okay? It is a 1-disc release, just 4K, and the reason that probably is because as far as I know, you can still get the Scream Factory Blu-ray. This is still in print. So take all that with what you will. I say, listen, this is fine. If you want to stick with this, I'm not gonna shill and be like, oh, you got to get the Arrow version. But I'm just giving you my honest opinion. Yeah, the picture quality is a little bit better for sure, and it should be. But the real winner is having that TV version. I liked it a lot. I love the TV version. So consider all that. And take it for what you will, weigh your options, check the prices on this, and do your thing. You shouldn't have a problem with getting this with a slipcover for a while. It should be available. So that's it, guys. Cobra, I'm gonna give the release 1 thumb up. Like I said, in terms of special features, Scream Factory did all the heavy lifting. The movie looks good, still stays vintage. The audio's good on it too. But the TV version, that's the winner because I loved it. I'd never seen it or heard of that before. So there you have it, guys. Cobra, let me know your thoughts down below, and I'll talk to you guys very soon. Huge, giant thank you to all of my Patreon supporters. Without you guys, this would not be possible. To get behind-the-scenes photos, videos, music, private live streams, and much more, you can subscribe to my Patreon for as little as $1 a month. Thank you to my patrons.